what you're seeing here is RC Lens build-up play to absolutely destroy the defense of Paris Saint-Germain in a 3-1 victory towards the end of the season at the Parc des Princes. It's not only just the one goal, it's the second goal that we're going to showcase here as well. A great build-up play. Ganago going down the wing, the left-sided striker pulling the ball back. And there he is at the near post. 3-1 win for Lens against PSG in this new incredible tactic, which is the #1 tactic on the FM Arena for the most recent update. Because of course, I showcased last week a tactic which you all told me it's not the most recent update, but it was #1 when I recorded it at the time. I still uploaded it because it was still decent. That was a 4-4-2 shape. This one is slightly different. This is more of a diamond shape. Zaz Blue is what it's called, and again, you can find it, the link down below in the description. We'll go through the instructions a little bit later because first off, I want to show you a few things just to show you how impressive this tactic really is. And we have tested it in the 10-team test league like we did last week, and it's got even better results. So that's a bit of a spoiler, but you'll soon see how good it really is. Now, I'm just getting my head around the data hub, so if there's something that you want to see each time we look at one of these tactics, then please let me know down in the comments. But I want to have a look at team attack, and we can see the goals per game for RC Lens is above 3 for RC Lens, and they are predicted to finish in 15th place by media prediction. We can see here media prediction 15th, and well, you can see it here, second in the league, joint points with PSG, only lost by goal difference of 2 goals. Yes, it's insane how this tactic is done. I know a lot of people don't like downloadable tactics. Don't know why you come to the video if you didn't like that and leave a comment, but still, I know a lot of you guys just like to see these tactics, see what works, and implement it into yourself and into your own tactics. If that's something that you like to do, then I 100% respect it, because that's something that I do as well. I look to see what works with these tactics and I implement them in my own tactics. Back to the data hub, of course, team attacking, we're looking really good. Even the expected goals per game, 2.61, but there is some other things that I think is really interesting to see. If we look at this scatter graph of the goal output, high scoring, impenetrable defense, RC Lens, they're above PSG. I don't know how. And even in the defensive efficiency category, in this scatter graph here, we are in the quiet defense, impenetrable defense area with Lyon, Monaco, and there's a few other teams in there, but we are clearly one of the best teams in the league, both attacking wise and defensively. So I think it is quite interesting to see that Lens did manage to finish joint points with PSG, only losing out on a couple of goals there. We take a look at the schedule as we go down towards the end. They had like an 8-1 win against Montpellier, a 5-0 win against Nice. That's where the PSG victory came about, 3-1 there. And even towards the end of the season, some big results, including the final day, a 3-2 victory over Monaco. I made no transfers in any of these situations that we're going to have a look at, because there have been other teams across Europe that I've tested this with, as well as using the test league. Now, Derby County, they start with minus 21 points at the start of the game. I decided to test it with them, and they finished with 57 points in 12th place, meaning with that extra 21, 78 points, they would have been roughly in around about 6th place with no extra transfers, because I know they don't have that good of a team either. And they also scored the second highest amount of goals in behind Sheffield United throughout the whole Championship League campaign. Now, what about this team, Cadiz? They are in the top division in Spain, La Liga Santander. 18th place they are predicted to finish. However, we managed to finish in 6th place using this tactic on 63 points, joint with Celta Vigo. I guess they beat us on head-to-head because we had a far superior goal difference, but we're above Atletico Madrid, Real Sociedad, and even Barcelona, for somehow they managed to finish in 11th. That's the lowest I've ever seen them, by the way. But hey, we have done it. We're in 6th place. We have the highest average rating here, one of the most assists, and even the data hub reflects some interesting statistics. Before that, though, they scored the most amount of goals, 10 more than Real Madrid, who finished top of the league, and they had the most shots. Really interesting stuff here. Very much like RC Lens, we have 2.2 goals per game and a very high expected goals per game. So our XG is actually higher than our goals per game. So if you have more efficient strikers, you should be scoring more goals. So that's quite intriguing, really. But also in the scoring, we are way above any other team here in the high scoring and aggressive shooting category. Real Madrid there miles behind us in these shots per game, but we still have higher goals ratio than what they do. Now, towards the back end of the season, we had some cracking results, including this 4-2 victory against Atletico Madrid. And you can see some of the goals here. Absolutely incredible. Build-up play. There's so many people flooding the box there. There's about 7 or 8 men in the box waiting to have a shot on goal. And this is a bit of an example from the halfway line. We're just creating space, creating an overload here for their defenders. They can't cope with it, and Andone manages to fire it home. Over to Italy, and Torino managed to finish in 5th place. Not the best result in regards to where they finished in the league table, albeit that they're supposed to finish nowhere near that high. They're actually predicted to finish in 12th place. But some of the statistics that you'll see, you can tell that it's not really the tactics' fault. It's more the case that the players that they have aren't quite capable of taking them any higher. You can see here the movement, the dribbles per game and foul against per game ratio, one of the highest that you can see in the league. Lots of dribbles, frequently fouled. So using this tactic, Torino's obviously picking the ball up quite often, taking players on, getting fouled, creating lots of set pieces and lots of chances on goal. Yet again on the team attacking part of the data hub, 2.3 goals per game and expected XG goals 2.3 as well, with a lot of shots per game, around about 18 shots per game. On this team defending polygon, we can see here so many tackles attempted per game, a lot higher than the average ratio that we see. 5.46 fewer tackles per game with the rest of the league average compared to ours, which is up there at 23.63. So many more tackles than the rest of the league. But we also tried this with an elite team in their league of Manchester United. My team, 98 points was the goals tally, and 2 of those losses came towards the end of the season where they had already won the league against a 2-0 loss to Watford there, a 2-1 loss to Southampton. But that doesn't tell all of the story because they were so close from getting a quadruple. Runners up in the Champions League, runners up in the Carabao Cup, winner of the FA Cup. Towards the back end of the season in the semi-final of the Champions League as well, a 10-1 victory across both legs against Real Madrid. You can see some of the goals here, including a 6-0 drumming at Old Trafford, which I'm so pleased to see. And this was without Cristiano Ronaldo as part of the team. Lovely little flick down from Rashford to Greenwood there, something that I very much doubt we'll be seeing in real life. But again, it really does highlight the build-up play and the amount of created chances that you can get. If you've got some clinical strikers, you're going to score a lot of goals using this tactic. I think what this does is really highlight the amount of chances you can create with certain overloads through the middle of the pitch using a shadow striker role, which ends up looking like you've got 3 attacking players being marked. Especially if you were playing against a back 4, they're being marked by 2 players. So there's always going to be 1 free like that. There was 2 players, 2 centre-backs there. There was 3 players around them waiting for the ball. It creates so much chaos, creates so many chances for you that you're just going to end up scoring more goals on the opposition, 9 times out of 10. So let's look more into this tactic then. Now, for people who are on Xbox, ignore that it says custom tactical style. If you copy the exact instructions and player instructions, it will create the exact same tactic, okay? So we've got 2 advanced forward at the top here. You can see the the player instructions on the right-hand side there. They're both identical for each one. The shadow striker role. Now, I would dare say that this is one of the most important roles in the formation, in the tactic as you're playing it, because this is what creates a lot of chances, and I have seen this role tends to score a lot of the goals and get a lot of assists throughout the season. So if you've got an influential player such as Bruno Fernandes for Manchester United in this role, then you're going to score a lot of goals. The defensive winger. I like the defensive winger. Nobody really uses it, but what it does do is a lot of security for your wing backs, and in this case, inverted wing backs. So in the defensive wingers that we have here, you can see the instructions are identical on either side. The roaming playmaker, I've already mentioned how much I'm a big fan of the roaming playmaker here that you can see on support at the bottom of the diamond. Inverted wing backs, again, what I like to highlight here is that these guys will sit next to your roaming playmaker when you're on attack. So if the opposition does break up your play, you have more security in around the middle of the pitch to stop any overloads, being counter-attacked, maybe even win the ball back and start your attack again. Now the inverted wingbacks does have shoot less often and tackle harder selected on both sides. We've got 2 ball playing defenders, with identical instructions again and a sweeper keeper. Positive mentality. And in possession, we are fairly wide with the attacking, working the ball into the box with low crosses. We've seen quite a few of the low crosses already throughout the highlights. Playing out of defense. Now, it's a slightly shorter pass and directness with an extremely high tempo. None of this is selected, which you don't have to have all instructions selected. It makes it sometimes more complicated. It's a gegenpress style, rolling it out, but not selecting where to. And out of possession, we are much high line of engagement. Standard defensive line leaves a massive area of the pitch where your players are going to be based around. Not really compact in the middle. Your standard defensive line, but your much high line of engagement. It's going to be hard once you win the ball to mark all of your players out of the game. There's always going to be space for your players to receive the ball, and that's why when you do start attacks, when you eventually win the ball back, that's why you're creating a lot of chances through passing into space and creating these opportunities. Whereas the only downside to that is that you're not as compact, but when they are breaking you down and get past your line of midfield, that's when you might concede a few more goals. We are, of course, using the offside trap. We're much more trigger press with prevent short goal kick distribution, and the defensive width is standard. Now, over to the test league, and thank you once again to the likes of Coinbird and Stick Piano for allowing me to use this test league. I think it really does allow you to highlight how good certain tactics are. 10 teams, all of the best 10 teams selected here, and yet Inter Milan using this tactic have come out on top with a points tally of 142. Now, to allude back to what I mentioned the last time we had this test league, if you finish above Liverpool, that's classed as a success because of how good they are. And if you have a points per game ratio of above 1.8, then that is an elite level tactic. So first one to chalk off, we did finish above Liverpool by 12 points. Inter Milan are nowhere near supposed to finish this high. You can see Media predicted of 8th there out of 10, so that's really high. And if we take a look at the team overview, points per game, 1.97. There's Liverpool above 1.8, which we consider to be elite level, but 1.97 is the points per game ratio that we are getting. We scored the most goals, 176. We had the most shots. We had the most tackles. It's a very good tactic, viewers. And to be honest, if you want to try and download this, like I mentioned, it'll be down in the description. You can see some of the results here in this test league. 72 games is played across the season, so it's non-stop action. We had some massive results in here. A lot of 4-0 wins, like against Real Madrid, 3-0 against Chelsea. You're going to pick up quite a lot of losses, but still, the fact that we've managed to come out in this test league top of it with 142 points is absolutely insane. So if you can drop a like, that'll be absolutely fantastic. Really do appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe because we've got plenty more videos coming out. How about watching this video that we have done where we play Tom FM in a retro database? With the likes of Zidane, there's Keane versus Vieira even there for you. A lot of nostalgia. R9 comes off the bench because he's not quite as good as Raul. I'll let you be the judge of that. Bye-bye.